Let's say there's a brother out there who's about to become a father. We get these men in our circles all the time that show up at like a Sacred Sons EMX, and they're there to literally initiate themselves, into men's work. Yes.
Yeah.
But also they know they're coming there to get to tools for fatherhood. What's step one? What's your first piece of advice for a man who's going to become a new father?
Step one, very, very, very basic. Next step. Well, it's a principle. I'll share our first principle from our course, which is understand that you need to be proactive right off the bat, and you have to. So I'll give you a few examples. So one, proactive about learning and understanding what's happening, right? So that's as a part of our course. We have a simplified process of books we recommend and things like that. But the proactivity part is do it before your partner hands you the book, right? Like get invested, get curious. That's step one. Get invested and get curious, both about the actual process of pregnancy, but then about your own development and your relational development. I'll just name those three sort of dimensions, right? The pregnancy, birth, and postpartum ride, the inner development of your own self, and then the investment into your relationship. I know that's a lot and that's not a first step, but actually I think just the awareness of these three areas to really, really pay attention to, and the proactive nature to, that's step one. That's step one.
Yeah, participate. Get in the game.
Yeah, that's it. Get in the game. Put your helmet on, dude.
The longer you wait to get in the game, like the harder it is.
That's step one. Get your helmet on, get your ass in the game. Even if you don't know the rules, just do it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of my hardest moments, I was going through it. Maybe Noah was around 1. And I just remember like feeling under-resourced and like, is this what dads are going through out there? In terms of being under-resourced. Maybe it's a book. Aside from groups, aside from work, what's like a skill to develop? What's like to be resourced in the way of a skill? Maybe that's breath. Maybe that's like a physical skill. But what's a skill for a father to start honing in on?
The nervous system capacity to find a mechanism to code switch and be present for exactly what's going on in front of you. So basically presence practice, right? Like, so the ability to be at work when you're at work, the ability to be playing with your kid when you're playing with your kid, the ability to do laundry when you're doing laundry, right? Like, so that I think would maybe give some of the biggest mileage in the long run, because what it offers is a much more sort of pure flow of energy. And when you cross channels, right, when your mind is here and there, and like that is like our brains we don't have the capacity to do that very well. And that tends to just gum up everything. So it's like kind of the principle of like, you do one thing really well. If you do a lot of things, you do none of them well, right? And I think if we work with our nervous system, our mind, and our attention to build that capacity, that's pretty damn important.
That is a huge unlock. That's a huge unlock, because I think we're trained to want to be multitasking, especially even professionals or in college. We're taking all this, we're like taking it all in and doing it all as men. And then that shift into parenthood, like again, like the reality of the responsibility beckons us to show up our best and not to really be spread thin.
Yeah, man, totally.
Is what I'm hearing there. And that's a developmental thing that you have to train in.
Yeah, no, I was just affirming it. But what I want to say is that it might seem unclear how you might train that, but it's very, very trainable, right? So like basic mindfulness training is a good start there. One of the tools that I love to give to dads, a practice that I did not come up with, but I interpreted through some other people's work, is you go home, you put a timer on for 15 minutes, you turn your phone off, And for 15 minutes, you treat it like a meditation practice, but what you're doing is getting in your kid's world. You get eye to eye, you get down, you give them all of your attention, and you just roll with it for 15 minutes. And when you get distracted, you just come back, just like reconnect with your kid. If your thoughts go off about dinner or whatever, come back. That is like, it's kind of like killing a couple birds with a stone, right? That is like awareness and focused training. And it also gives you the benefit of, getting that time with your kid too.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, some of the teachings that I've heard out there, like the most important 15 minutes are the first 15 minutes when you wake up, last 15 minutes before you go to bed, and the first 15 minutes of reconnection, whether that's after work or after they come home from school, whatever that is. So though, even expanding it to, that's a 45 minutes of your life. And if that was the practice, if that was it, if that's all we did as dads, we'd be doing pretty good. I'd say, you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
Like, we don't have to overcomplicate it.
Well, I'm going to give one more quick answer too, which is a global thing. Is we to really do this job well, the dad job, you got to slow the fuck down. You got to slow it down. You got to slow everything down. You got to breathe more, and you got to slow down. And like because when you slow down with your kids, with your family, with yourself, all the shit we're looking for happens naturally, right? Like the connection and the play and the love and just all the things. Like, it's not, we are overcomplicating things. We're just going too fast, everybody. We're just going way too fast. Yeah. We're doing too much and going too fast. So we can slow it down.